Do we, the people, elect the president? That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get started. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Virtual History 360. I'm Mr. Wade, and I'm here to help you understand history just a little bit better. So be sure to subscribe to keep up with my newer videos. I try to put out at least 1 or 2 a week, so make sure you're keeping up with that. And also, be sure to check out the awesome history merchandise like shirts, hoodies, and masks that are found in my Teespring store. Check it out. I'm going to put a link in the description for you. And be sure to stick around until the end of the video to find out what happens to electors who cast their vote for someone other than the winner from their state. But before we get to that, we need to talk about the electoral process. Now, this is different from choosing a candidate. You can watch this video here to find out more about that process. Today, we are talking about the Electoral College. For starters, you need to know that this was a compromise during the Constitutional Convention between those who wanted a popular vote, with the will of the people, and those who wanted state legislatures to choose the president. This was the best of both worlds, they said. Well, this compromise came towards the end of the convention, where there was little time to debate, and it also came at a time when we did not have 2 distinct political parties. Because of this, the Constitution has very few details about the Electoral College, only that the number of electors will be equal to representation in Congress, and that electors will meet in their states and vote for 2 persons. Assuming a majority is reached, whoever receives the most votes will become president, and whoever gets the second most becomes vice president. That sounds good on paper, but once parties began to form, there were issues. Starting in 1796, you had a Federalist president and a Democratic Republican vice president. 2 different ideologies running one branch? Whew. Well, this was fixed in 1804 with the 12th Amendment that separated the vote of president and vice president into 2 ballots. This way, the electors will vote for the candidate and their running mate, just like we see today. Now that we have the history out of the way, how will it look in 2020? Well, I hope you know about the general election. It always falls on the first Tuesday after the first Monday of November, which this year was November 3rd. That's it, right? Nope. Election day only covers the popular vote. Now, most years a winner is declared on election night, but with the large number of mail-in ballots this year, it took an extra 4 days before a winner was called. But here's the thing. The popular vote isn't officially finalized until December 14th this year. So, between Election Day and the middle of December, states verify their counts. This is also the time for candidates to file any disputes or request any recounts. So, moving forward, now it's December 14th, and in each state a group of people gather at the state capitol. Who are they? Well, these are the electors. Makes sense, we're talking about the Electoral College. But how do we pick who gets to go? Each of the major political parties designates people to do the job. For example, the state of Florida has 27 representatives and 2 senators, so we need 29 electors. The Democrats and the Republicans each pick 29 people who agree to vote for their candidate if needed. Since Donald Trump won the popular vote in Florida, then in December the group selected by the Republican Party will make the trip to Tallahassee. This is the official vote for president. This is the culmination of all the campaigning and rallying. November 3rd was great, but December 14th is the day that matters. 538 electors from around the country cast their ballot, and the candidate who reaches 270 is the winner. But the job is not done. There are still a few more steps before it becomes official. Within 9 days of the vote, the certified ballots must be received by the President of the Senate and an archivist. By January 3rd, these votes will be delivered to Congress so that on January 6th, the electoral votes can be counted during a joint session of the House of Representatives and the Senate, with the Vice President presiding as head of the Senate, and they will announce, which is Mike Pence this time, they will announce the winner of the presidential and vice presidential races. If there are any objections to the electoral vote, they must be submitted in writing with at least 1 signature from a representative and a senator. If this happens, the 2 houses of Congress withdraw to their own chambers to debate the validity of the objection. But by this point, with all the previous steps having been taken, this rarely happens. But just announcing the votes in Congress is not the last step in this process. According to the 20th Amendment, the term of the current president ends at noon on January 20th. So, the new president must be sworn in at that time. Whether you're an incumbent or not, you get sworn in at this time. This inauguration is the final step in the electoral process. Now, what about the question I asked at the beginning? What happens to electors who vote for whoever they want? Remember I told you that the party that wins the state gets to pick their own electors. Sometimes an elector will buck the trend and vote for someone other than the party winner. Sometimes this is done in protest of the election and they vote for the opponent. Sometimes this is just a protest in general and they will cast their ballot for someone random. The problem is that these electors swear to vote for the winner when they agree to do the job. Most states will just call in an alternate elector, but there are 15 states that have some sort of sanction for what is called a faithless elector, an elector who votes for someone else. A few states even impose a monetary fine, up to $1,000 for anyone who votes for a person other than the winner of the state. This was brought to the Supreme Court this year in the case Chiafalo et al. V. Washington, the state of Washington. The Supreme Court sided with the state of Washington, with Justice Kagan writing the court's opinion. She said that history has allowed the states to hold their electors accountable and force them to vote for the candidate chosen by the people of the state, so they're going to continue that. What do you think? Tell you what, leave a comment below telling me what you think about faithless electors and really faithless electors being punished for doing that. Do you think it's fair? Let me know. And while you're there, go ahead and hit that like button for me. I love the engagement, and you know what? Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If that button is red, let's turn it gray. And be sure to check out my other videos like the ones you see over here on the side. I have other history videos. I have world history, US history. I have civics videos, talking about government. I even have videos shot in 360 where you can look all the way around. So check them out because I know you're going to like them. For Virtual History 360, I'm Mr. Wade. I'll see you next time.